Hey guys, and welcome in to a brand new series. Now this series is very special to me as it's going to be a long running one hopefully, and it's come out of nowhere. I haven't told you guys anything about this until I knew it was going to be happening and going ahead. So, this is the first episode. This is a series of me interviewing other YouTubers that are a lot more higher up than I am, a lot better than I am, but people that you may not have heard of. Of course, there's the big YouTubers like PewDiePie, stuff like that. There's a ton of like more popular YouTubers like Tabuscus and everything else, but there's a lot of other gaming YouTube channels which not everyone knows about. So I kind of wanted to go into those and maybe throw some names out that you guys will know or may not know, and hopefully show you guys there's more to YouTube than meets the eye. So, first on my list is a very special person to me. He is absolutely brilliant. He has 17 million views across all his videos, 65,000 subscribers, which I think is mind-blowing. And he is Clint, aka the Lazy Gamer, aka Phreakindee.
Greetings, I am Clint Basinger. Often go under the name of whatever people want to call me, Phreakindee or Clint, or just Lazy Gamer, reviewer, whatever. The bearded guy, that's me, and yep.
So, who are you? Tell us what you do apart from YouTube.
What do I do outside of YouTube? Well, up until a few weeks ago, I actually worked as a picture framer, and that took up a stupid amount of time because it was a job. Now I don't have it. I quit. It got to be terrible. After 5 years of doing that, I said screw it, and now I'm just doing YouTube, so hopefully YouTube will remain a job if the income is nice, but that remains to be seen. Outside of YouTube, well, I play games. Go figure that. And that's pretty much what I've always done. A bit of a introvert. Go figure. Collecting hardware, tinkering with things. I used to do a lot of other things, all related to games, like level editing and a little bit of programming and stuff like that. But it's mostly now I just do reviews. And outside of home, doing things here, I don't know, going to movies and farting, whatever, man. Just people stuff, I guess.
Brilliant. Okay, so when and why did you start doing YouTube videos?
I started making videos because I was bored. Now, I've been making videos ever since I was a kid. Actually, as a teen, I was making cassette tape things before that as a kid. I started doing that when I was like 4 or 5. My parents got me a tape recorder, and I had my own little Clint's World show. It was like a podcast before podcast. I would talk about games. I specifically remember doing a show on Word Rescue Plus. Some things never change, apparently. I just realized that. Anyway, that's how I started doing things with media, and it just sort of evolved from there. I got a hold of a video camera, when I was like 12 or 13 or something, and did like a bunch of stop motion. That was cool. And then it just sort of evolved from there. I was doing like quick short videos, and I did like music videos in high school, and through college I did some other stuff like that, whatever. I did something for like a Pink Floyd video, and something else to something that was kind of stupid because you're in college and you think you're artsy and cool, but you're not. It was terrible. And eventually I started doing game reviews. I started with... Which one did I start with? I think it was either the Atari 2600 or Commodore VIC-20 or Sega CD. One of those. I don't remember now, but it was a video, and I put it up there, and I don't know. Some people watched it, friends or whatever. That was all it was for. I wasn't going to do it anymore, but then the Sega CD video started getting a bunch of views because the AVGN put his video out around that same time, so it sort of leached off of that inadvertently, and then I posted up another one. It was like the Sims 3 quick review thing, and then I did my first actual review was LGR, and it was a bunch of Atari 2600 games and Animal games, actually. And that was it. And from there, I don't know. I continued the tradition of mine, the hobby of mine of making something with either video or audio, and it's continued. Hasn't stopped. I wouldn't stop even if I weren't making these videos. I would still be doing something if I weren't posting them online. I always have.
Okay, so how long have you been into gaming?
Well, I suppose I answered the question of how long I've been into gaming a little bit in the last question, but yeah, I was like 4 or 5. I had games like, the first game actually that I had, pretty sure was Crystal Caves by Apogee for MS-DOS, followed shortly, more or less, by Commander Keen Goodbye Galaxy, and then, of course, Word Rescue Plus, and Duke Nukem, and Pharaoh's Tomb, and Paratrooper, and CD Man, and a bunch of other awesome shareware, and whatever else I could get my hands on. Yeah, so I've been gaming for a long time. I guess I started gaming probably in about 1990, 91.
Okay, I know this was going to be really difficult, but your top 3 games, go.
I hate this question. I genuinely hate it because I can't pick, but I'm going to go with the few that I always do. First one that comes to mind is Out of This World, or Another World, depending on where you're from, what version you had. That game is just fantastic as far as the atmosphere and the cinematic thing, and I just remember that being like the very first game that opened my mind to the idea that games could be something more than like games. You know, it was like a cinematic experience, but yet it was more than that because it was definitely a game. You had this aspect of trying to figure out what to do that was just so cool. The next one on my list would have to be Duke Nukem 3D because it's Duke Nukem 3D. I played the first 2 games to death, the platformers, and then when Duke 3D came out, it was like banned from my household, well, sort of, more or less, without really saying, because it was an M-rated game and I was only, 11 when it came out? So, yeah, it was, had that allure to it, and plus it was Duke Nukem, and I always liked Duke Nukem, and then I finally got it, and holy crap, it was seriously amazing. I mean, the game itself was amazing, but then the modding, that's the game that really got me into modding and making maps, and I coded my own enemies, and it was awesome. Number 3, though? Oh, I have no idea. I'm going to go with Half-Life 2, just because it's Half-Life friggin' 2, and I don't think I could really argue with that mentally. That's a fantastic game, and it never gets old to me. I don't know why, so... yeah, and that's another one of those. It's just atmosphere. Duke 3D also has that atmosphere thing going on, but yeah, Half-Life 2 even more so. When I first played that, it was just like, it was like playing Out of This World again. I was transported into another reality altogether. Like, I could just believe that City 17 existed and that the Combine were real. It's a fantastic friggin' game.
Favorite PC or computer? You have a lot, so I wondered, what is your favorite?
Well, that's pretty easy. Let me just adjust the camera. That'd be that right there, the IBM PC 5150. That is the original PC. There were personal computers before that, of course. You had them all the way back into, the beginning of the 70s at least. But, this was the very first one, as we know the term today. The PC started out as this thing. And it's for that reason that it's freaking awesome. Plus, I just like how it looks. I don't know. It's just got a cool look to me for some reason. It's got these awesome big old disk drives that clunk in there, and nice old 360K 5.25-inch floppies. It's just a sweet machine. I love this green monochrome display. Have the CGA display for it too. I have all the peripherals. I love the keyboard. That's like my friggin' intro sound effect is that keyboard. So yeah, it's just an awesome friggin' PC.
So who do you watch on YouTube, and who are your inspirations?
I watch a lot of random things on YouTube, but it seems like my favorite YouTubers don't make as much stuff as they used to. The few that come to mind are like Maincade. I love his stuff, and John's just an awesome guy anyway. Steve Benway, same. He hasn't done as much recently, but he's still around. So that's cool. His are just entertaining in that, don't give a crap. I'm just going to talk about stuff and show old games kind of way. And then like Nice in Games, his stuff is friggin' hilarious and just, it's so dry and weird and nice and games. As far as inspirations, though, like what I really got started doing was, a lot of it was because of the AVGN, of course. Angry Video Game Nerd was doing his thing, and whenever I got started, it was like 2007, 2008. And, I for some reason, it never crossed my mind before that point that you could make a series of videos about old games and people would watch. Like, I had done that myself, but I just, I didn't, I don't know, it just didn't compute, like, that there would be an audience for it. But there was, so that kind of showed me that. Not his style really didn't influence me that much, but yeah, definitely his show itself, it being successful, that was an influence. I'd say as far as style being an influence, though, Classic Game Room was a big one. That's actually why I got started doing the Atari 2600 games to begin with, because his Atari 2600 videos, Mark, I don't know, there's something about him and the weird cadence he has, and just, I don't know, just how he does his videos. They're friggin' awesome, and they're hilarious, but yet just informative enough, but yet not serious. So yeah, I would say he's probably the bigger influence as far as style goes. But yeah, I mean, I could list any number of random YouTubers that have influenced me, I suppose, but those are the big ones.
How are you so bloody good at doing Duke Nukem's voice? I come get some. See, I can't go anywhere near that. Yeah, it sucks.
Well, I suppose it just comes naturally. I have no idea. It just started one day. I hit puberty. That's how I got so good at the voice. No, really, that was it. I just, I hit puberty around the same time that I was really getting into Duke 3D, and, I guess it was fate, because now I've got balls of steel, and that's it. That's that. I have no idea. It just comes naturally. I never really have tried. I've worked, I guess, on the mannerisms a little bit, but otherwise, no, it's just my voice.
So, favorite gaming moment, either personal or in-game?
I'm going to have to go back to Out of This World again for this one, because, that game, it had such an effect on me as a kid. Okay, so when you start the game out, there's this big intro sequence. That in itself was awesome. It was like I was watching a movie, and I'd never seen anything like that in a game before. And once that ends, and you're dropped into the game, and you're in the water, and those tentacles are coming after you, and then you come up out of the water, and then you get a breath, and you stand up, and there's just nothing but the wind and this low rumble, and there's this creature in the background, and like these little worms sliding along the next screen and stuff. It was like stepping into another reality altogether, and that was just friggin' incredible. I was hooked ever since. And yeah, still come back to the game just to experience that moment over and over and over. It is phenomenal. Yeah, I'm happy with that response.
And last but not least, what is your favorite video that you made?
For some reason, I'm still fond of the Realms of Chaos review. I don't know what it was, but something about that one just, I don't know, that one actually makes me laugh. A lot of my videos don't, but for some reason, I was feeling weird that day, I guess, when I made that, and it turned out to be a somewhat strange review here and there. Yeah, as far as review videos go, it'd probably be that one. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to think back at all of them. One of the videos I'm really proud of, though, the DRM video, that came together really well, and I hope it continues to get more views. It kind of had a nice little spike at the beginning of views, and now it's just kind of leveled off, but I think that video just deserves to be seen, not just because I made it, but, and I was proud of how it came out, but because DRM is a huge friggin' problem, and a lot of people don't seem to realize why it sucks. And they're like, I don't mind DRM, I got a nice internet connection. Well, that's not the point. Anyway, and then there's the Duke Nukem retrospective, where I covered every single Duke Nukem game ever made up to that point. That was just cool, because it came together nicely. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing, I guess. But, yep, that would be that. So, yeah. Thanks for the questions. See you later.
Okay, so that's a big thank you goes out to Clint there. He is an amazing guy, such a brilliant YouTuber, a load of videos, and just an epic guy. Go check out his channel, links in the description below, everything's down there for you guys. Go subscribe, go rate, go like all his videos. He is an epic guy, and I'm so grateful he did this series. Next on my list of YouTubers will be a surprise, so we'll wait for that. But thank you so much for Clint for doing this for me. He has a lot of stuff going on his YouTube channel, so I'm glad he found the time, and really grateful. So yeah, check out his channel in the link below. I'm Jamie Gray, but until next time, that's me, out.